Welcome back. Just for fun, I thought we'd have a closer look at one of my many quadcopters. It might be of interest. This one is 300mm size. That's 300mm across the, I think it's actually 320 across the prop bosses. The frame is carbon fibre. I bought this as a kit. It's got folding arms to release these red knobs, and you can fold it flat for storage. I've never done that, but that's what you can do with it. It's very rigid. We've got 4 motors. They're 2300 kV, and the model number is 1806. So we've got 4 of those. The electric motors are controlled by speed controllers. Normally speed controllers are a separate item, which I can show you, but in the case of this one, the speed controller is inbuilt into this sandwich board here. So that comes with it when you buy it. 4 speed controllers are integrated in the bottom board, which makes it a nice neat installation. You've got normally the speed controllers are separate on the arms, so there's none of that. It's all integrated or internal to it. Some of the other components we've got here, it's very difficult seeing some of this stuff, I know. I'll just put a bit more light on, see if that helps. And something to point with. Right. At the front of the sandwich, in there, is all the connections to the speed controller board. Here is our flight controller, and this is an AMP flight controller, a mini AMP, which is it's quite sophisticated really. It's got, as well as the normal gyro controls, it's got sensors for up and down. It can sense that movement, it can sense that movement, and it can sense that movement. And it's also got a barometer in it, so it can sense height. To aid and assist all that information that it's processing, because it is in all essence it's a very small computer, and it processes all this information and sends information to the speed controllers to alter the speeds of the motors to keep it in level flight. Without the speed controllers and without the flight controller, it would be an impossibility to fly this. The flight controller compensates and makes all the calculations to try and keep it in a steady position. All I'm doing when I'm flying it is telling it which way I'd like it to go, and it follows suit. There's no actual direct control to it, it's all fly-by-wire. So if it doesn't want to go that way, it won't. In addition to the flight controller, this one is fitted with GPS, and that's what this dome is here. And on my transmitter, I'll just show you that briefly. On the transmitter,
welcome to OpenTX.
We have
switch warning.
Several different
stabilize mode, high rates,
modes of flying, as you just heard. So because this is a computer in the quadcopter, it can process, as I say, a lot of information. So we can select different flight modes.
Circle.
That would cause it, when it's airborne obviously, just to fly around in a circle around a given point, and it would take that point from the GPS.
Loiter mode.
Loiter mode, you can fly it to a preset height, switch it into loiter mode, and it will just hold that height and position autonomously on its own. You know, that would be autonomously, wouldn't it? It would be on its bloody own, your soft side. Right.
Return to launch.
That's a good one. If you ever get panicked, it'll return to the place it took off from automatically. So it climbs to about 100 feet and then it'll let itself down slowly and land on the spot that you took off from. So when it gets a bit further away from you and you get disorientated, you just flick that one.
Loiter mode. Return to launch.
And it'll come back on its own. You haven't got to touch anything. It'll come back, land, and it'll turn the motors off. So there's, I think I've got 6 modes. I can't remember now.
Auto.
Auto, that's another one. You can upload a flight plan into it. So on Google Maps, you pick waypoints and upload them into the flight controller, and once you switch it into auto, it'll follow that flight path until it's finished, and then when it's finished it will return to base and land where it took off from. So that's auto.
Altitude hold.
Altitude hold, that's self-explanatory. You get to an altitude, you can make it just hold and it'll just stay there. You can fly around using the controls, but the altitude will always stay the same. So it takes one control off you, being the throttle, which you use for height.
Stabilize mode.
Stabilize, that's what I was using out in the garden. Because it was its first flight in 18 months, I didn't want to risk the automatic flying bits just in case it had a dicky fit and went walkabout. It has been known for them to go walkabout. So in stabilized mode, it's just relying on the onboard gyros to keep it level, and my ineptitude at keeping it in one spot. My flying area is a bit ludicrous. It's only what, 8 by 4 or something stupid. Anyway, that's that one. So that's it, we're back to stabilize, and that's what I used to start off with. I have other controls. Once it's airborne, I can alter the amount of stick input so it's not so jerky.
Middle rates.
I can take the rates to middle
Low
or
rates.
low rates. So I've got
Middle rates. High rates.
3 positions there. I have got some lovely little LEDs all around the arms, which I can switch on and off.
Camera centered. Camera off. Camera centered.
That one is for when I'm flying my big one, and I've got a camera mount on it, so I can
Camera centered. Camera off.
I can alter the position of the camera in flight. There's many other controls. There's a lot of trim controls on it for stabilizing it. So that was that. My flight controller, it's a Tyrannus, and it's fully programmable. I think you can get 250 models in it. I've got quite a few as it is. You can fly fixed wing or helicopter or quadcopters with it. So that's that, and we'll carry on with this. So we've got a flight controller, GPS. On the back here we've got the receiver, which is a 8-channel receiver, and those are the 2 whip aerials on the back. Moving forward of the GPS, we've got our live video link. This gives me, when I use my ground station through this domed aerial, it gives me a live feed from the camera on the front. And to augment the picture from that, this unit here is an on-screen display which superimposes a head-up display over the image of the camera to give you, like they have fighter pilots have. It's got the altitude on one side, the height on the other, an arrow pointing its way back home, and all sorts of other information on the screen. Very nice. Oh, and it also displays what mode you've got it switched in, and that is if I've flown it looking at the monitor, but I've never flown it FPV. I've never flown first person. I've never flown it using one of these as yet. And that's the other element. With that, you can see the aerial. You can, when you're wearing it, it's just like sitting in the cockpit of a fighter. You've got your forward view, and you've got all the head-up display in front of you, so you can see exactly what it's doing. One day we'll have a go. Not today. I'm too frightened. Some of the trouble I was having flying today is it's frightening and I get nervous, so I shake in any case, but I was shaking like hell, and normally I would fly it like this: throttle, rudder, that's aileron or banking, and that's tilt forward and tilt back. But when I tried flying, because I've been flying for a while, my shake developed and I couldn't hold that stick for the life of me. So I finished up putting it on my knee and flying like this, which is very unusual for me. I've never done it like that before, but we got it airborne and we was able to pivot it round when it got out of shape, and with that stick. And this, as I say, is a forward and reverse, and left and right. So that's it. That's most of what goes into that one. It's a lot of technology. Oh, and last but not least is on the bottom we've got a 12-volt lithium battery, and they stay on for quite a while. Oh, that goes on there. Got the battery in the wrong way around, I think. That's the power for all these little LEDs. So you could, if you were a complete idiot, go out in the dark and fly it. That's a thought. I might have a go at that, because I am a complete idiot. So one day. Anyway, that's that one. I think I might go through these models one at a time and show them. I don't want to make the video too long. This one I call Nasty Gnat. A, because of the sound you've heard of it make, and when I first tried flying it, it was a handful. I tried it with just a normal flight controller and I couldn't get it to do very much. It would take off in whatever direction it liked. it was frightening. But when I put this mini APM in it, it's a Pickhawk as the controller, it quietened it right down, and when you put it into lighter mode she would just hang in the air and you could go and push it and all sorts. It was brilliant. We'll get it going like that one day again, but as I say, I'm a bit frightened at the minute until I've worked the bugs out of the flight controller. But that's one of the small ones. And this is a 250, but this one was 3D printed. I printed that out on my 3D printer and it flew, so we were pleased with it. But it's got a different type of flight controller. It's not as sophisticated, there's no autonomy to it, it just flies. Yeah, that's that one. I'm not going to go through them all now. I'm going to do one video on my big Quadcopter. I think that'll be the next one. But most of the ones I made after Nasty Gnat, a lot of them appeared to be 3D printed. This one, for instance, quite a nice looking little thing. Different configuration of the rotors. It's got the same, a slightly more sophisticated flight controller on it. That's a Pickhawk, a mini Pickhawk. Again, it's got GPS, but it's fully enclosed. I like that. I thought that was fun. All the motor escape controllers are inside the body, and the battery fits up the rear end. Again, all 3D printed. It's quite rigid. Right, we'll call it quits there. Have a bit of a look at some of the other stuff that's in the Aspen shed. Okay, thanks for watching, subscribing. I don't know if anybody is playing the bagpipes, liking. So that's it. Thanks for now. Bye. And you can see my hand going over to the